Day number 3 continues at the 2024 ISC Men's World Tournament, and Monday means the round of 16 in the winner's bracket is Braden Arcan and the Grand Prairie Pirates taking on the AWP Lumberjacks and their star pitcher, a member of Team USA in the 2022 World Cup, who pitched them into a medal position in Bradley Kilpatrick. My name is Peter Lubardius, alongside the nicest man in softball, Joe Todd. And there is one away after the quick one pitch out to Braden Arcan. And now the batter is Corey Jones, the 35-year-old from Leduc. Quickly update you on how these teams arrived here. Grand Prairie had themselves quite a fight, Joe, against Georgian Bay, the Giants. They led 4-1 going to the 7th. Gave up 3 to tie the game. Extra inning, an Enzo Cheramonte solo home run actually gave Georgian Bay the lead before Grand Prairie came back with 2 in the bottom half of the 8th inning to win it 6-5. A much easier road for AWP, who beat the Pegasus Redmen from Manitoba in Canada by a count of 9-0, as Jones, who was 3 for 5 in that game on Saturday, finds himself on base here in the top of the first inning.
That Georgian Bay and Grand Prairie game was a fun game to watch, though. It was so exciting going back and forth.
Highly entertaining. And here's a gentleman who can't get enough at-bats at Softball City. His name is Patrick Burns. He was 3 for 3 with 3 runs batted in and a double, the 34-year-old from Saskatoon. And at the Canadians in this ballpark, late August and early September, he went 15 for 20. So the quick math at Softball City is 18 for his last 22.
Unrealistic.
That numbers. And see if he continues the trend today against a very astute left-hander in Kilpatrick, who actually will not participate for Team USA in the upcoming World Cup Group C qualifier. At least, Joe, he was not on the roster that was named last week.
That is correct. He's accepted a new job offer as the pitching coach at University of Washington and unable to get time off from his new position.
Well, that's a pretty good staff that he joins there with U.S. national women's team coach Heather Tarr, Canadian Olympian and bronze medalist.
Nice program he worked himself into.
Yes, and those women pitchers will benefit greatly from having the tutelage, and there are more and more men who have competed at a high level in those types of roles. Is knee-high with a quick one bouncer. And Kilpatrick in AWP off to a good beginning on day number 3 of the ISC on the ISC network.
Well hit, deep right field, it's curving. This one, well hit to deep right field this time, and that one is gone. Trying to put it away is Jack Bettsgrove. The New York Gremlins are world champions.
Congratulations, gentlemen.
The AWP Lumberjacks set to bat against Riley Mannion and the Grand Prairie Pirates. And Joe Todd, Riley, an interesting story, and I think well worth telling again.
Riley Mannion come over from the Bear Creek Express. The Bear Creek Express had 4 pitchers on their roster. But the ISC pitching rule states that you can only use 3 pitchers on your tournament during that World Tournament week. So Riley probably would have been the odd man out and not got much pitching time. And with the pitching injury sustained to Zippy,
Zach
Pierce, then they asked for a hardship case and got approval from the executive committee to do the transfer just 2 weeks ago.
Well, you saw a very talented AWP Lumberjack lineup. Riley Mannion in his second appearance at this tournament. He did pitch 5 1/3 innings in the win over Georgian Bay here on Saturday evening. He gave up 1 run on 5 hits, struck out 5, and walked 1. And he deals with Copenhagen, Denmark's Valdemar Terkelsen, who was 1 for 1 in the 9-0 triumph over the Pegasus Redmen in their first game. Already had I would say, a bit of an upset in the round of 16, Joe, today.
Yes, earlier in the day, Circle Tap, higher ranked team was knocked off by the
Glowworm.
The Glowworm by a 2-1 score. Max Montero pitched a complete game, 9 innings, 4 Ks, 3 walks, gave up 6 hits. Adam Salgado had a home run in the top of the 9th. Salgado was 2 for 4 in that game.
Well, after the favorites absolutely took care of business on Sunday, we've already had an interesting Monday. And I've mentioned this on our telecast several times, and we'll continue to repeat it, Joe, that this tournament just gets better and better every day. That's one of the true features of it. And Terkelsen off to a good start today. He'll try to make his way to second. Burns, a strong throw, and he slides in safely under the tag of veteran shortstop Kevin Schellenberg. And we'll take another look at just how close it was, and I think they got it right.
I think his leg got into the base before the tag was applied.
Strong throw from the great athlete who is Patrick Burns, a former college basketball star back in the day at the University of Saskatchewan. And Terkelsen finds himself with a lead-off double here in the bottom of the first, a slap bunt attempt by Argentine national team member Federico Eder, the shortstop, 2-time All-World player at the ISC tournament, 1 for 3 in their opening game. 1 year ago, he was a member of the JB team, went 6 for 17, 2 home runs and 5 runs batted in, and he is more than capable of getting on a hot streak.
Real good power hitter, very strong in his upper body.
And was an excellent performer for Argentina as they clinched the first of 2 spots at a Group B Men's World Cup qualifying tournament earlier this year in Prince Albert. As good as he is offensively, he can make plays on the defensive side. That was one thing that really impressed me with his work in Prince Albert.
Very good arm. Very great range. A lot of good range there, both sides. Can go easily to his left or right.
High softball IQ, which he showed on 2 or 3 occasions in some very key moments. So you think back to one play in particular in a round-robin win over Canada that you have to think it to be able to make it as quickly as he processed it. Dealing with a 2-strike pitch from Riley Mannion. On the ground, Corey Jones thought about the throw, and I think well advised to hang on as Terkelsen moves up 60 feet.
Good play by Eder, though, to pull that ball to advance Terkelsen down to third base.
There's some more intelligence.
Yes.
Cody Pannebecker is the batter, U.S. national team member. He's the second baseman. He's from Denver, Pennsylvania. Who knew? 1 for 3 with a triple and a run batted in the triumph over the Pegasus Redmen. 4 for 15 in the 2023 tournament with a double and 2 runs batted in. One of the good names, Cody Pannebecker, and a changeup from Mannion paints the outside corner for a strike. So Riley, the 25-year-old from Napanee, has moved into a very, very key position with his new staff. And he has gotten the ball to begin both of their first 2 games here in Surrey at lovely Softball City. And I think it's going to do the world of good for his development. I really do.
Yeah, he'll get that much more experience under his belt.
And he's facing a dangerous lineup in this Lumberjacks team. Pannebecker in more of a reserve role, Joe, at the 2022 Men's World Cup in New Zealand. He was 1 for 4 in that tournament, scored a run. I'm sure he'll potentially be in a slightly elevated role in Oklahoma City at the qualifier in September. On the ground towards Derek Mason, but it'll obviously roll foul. Pleasant day, mostly overcast. I've not seen a lot of the sun on the Monday, but comfortable.
Yes, great playing conditions for the players.
Yeah, I would think they'd really like this temperature, to be honest. We're probably in the 20-degree range.
Yep. Yeah, they just love it. No humidity, no wind, very little wind anyway.
This is high in the air. Galenza back. On comes Burns. And there was no doubt that Turkelson, all he had to do was watch the Burns throw to second base to know if he was in a good position to make a throw that Turkelson was staying. He showed bluffed, but that's as far as it was going to go.
Great read off the bat by Burns because there's no way Scotty Galenza was going to get back there to get that ball.
And remember that in the game against Georgian Bay, in a very key spot in the 3-run Georgian Bay 7th inning, he caught a ball with less than 2 out in foul territory, wasn't in a position to get up and make a play at third that tied the game before Georgian Bay went ahead and Grand Prairie ended up scoring 2 in the bottom half of the 8th inning to win it 6-5 in one of the better games on the weekend that we witnessed.
Great comeback effort.
This is Jonathan Lynch from St. Joseph, Missouri, a 2-time All-World member himself. On the ground, Jones ranging, steps on the bag. I think we have a good one brewing in the round of 16 in the winners bracket. We're through 1 on the ISC network.
How confident are you in your organization's security posture? If your answer isn't 100%, you're not alone. Most organizations aren't doing enough to protect their data, and they know it. With Armitage Technology, you can stop worrying about IT security issues so you can focus on moving your business forward. Our experienced staff monitor and maintain your IT infrastructure to keep your business running. Visit us at armitagetech.com and make your technology work for your business. How confident are you in your organization's security posture? If your answer isn't 100%, you're not alone. Most organizations aren't doing enough to protect their data, and they know it. With Armitage Technology, you can stop worrying about IT security issues so you can focus on moving your business forward. Our experienced staff monitor and maintain your IT infrastructure to keep your business running. Visit.
Grand Prairie comes to bat against Bradley Kilpatrick, who gave up a walk but did not issue a hit. And into the lineup for Grand Prairie in the first time in the tournament is their veteran catcher, Keegan Arcan. Did not participate in the tournament 1 year ago, as there is the Lumberjacks defense.
Jonathan Lynch in left field, Frank Kimlinger in center, Baldy Turkelson in right field, Federico Oheiser at third base, Federico Etter at.
A blast off the bat of Keegan Arcan, who returns to the ISC tournament with a bang.
Your home run was far more important than my defense.
Arcan goes the opposite way off Kilpatrick and provides the Grand Prairie Pirates a 1-0 advantage, as he tattoos it the opposite way. And now it's Derek Mason. That's making a splash.
Yes, early.
Did not participate in the game against the Georgian Bay Giants on Saturday. And welcome 31-year-old Keegan Arcan, who, by the way, in terms of birthdays, will turn 32 on August the 18th.
We're getting back to that. I love that. Maybe at the end of the term we'll get some birthday cake.
We should. Not that I need it.
No, neither one of us.
Mason swings and misses on the Kilpatrick pitch, and it was a good one. Down and away, excellent movement. And Kilpatrick has his second strikeout of the afternoon and the first out of the top of the second inning.
I describe Kilpatrick as deceptively sneaky. I don't know if that works or not, but he's got some great pitches. He has all the pitches. Very smart.
I have watched Bradley on video over the years. This is my first viewing of him in person, which to me, those, for what it's worth, always matter more. You get way better feel, understanding in-house rather than at home. Kilpatrick plays for the United States, but not born there, Joe.
No, born in Australia originally.
And dealing with Langford, British Columbia's Chris Walushka starting in left field. He was 0 for 2 in the victory over the Georgian Bay Giants on Saturday. 6 for 19 was Chris in last year's ISC World Tournament. And he's capable of getting on a hot streak himself. So Keegan Arcan, in his first at-bat of the event, has homered and given Grand Prairie in this important winner's bracket game a 1-0 lead. And Kilpatrick, and it's interesting, Joe, your description, even though I've watched him in person for now less than 2 innings, it is sneaky.
Yes.
It's not overpowering.
No.
Good movement on the ground, and a strong throw from Olizer for out number 2.
And what I like about Kilpatrick, from a teaching standpoint, you watch when he releases the ball and how much he uses his legs going forward. A lot of pitchers use their arms and their shoulders, but his legs, watch how much movement is there and always going straight forward.
Well, that's a quality drop to Scott Galenza, who was 0 for 4 against Georgian Bay and absolutely robbed on one attempted hit. And this will be a hit. His first of the ISC in the last 2 tournaments. I don't think you can charge that as an error to the shortstop, Federico Ader.
Extremely hard hit ball. It took a real high bounce on him, too.
And they're going to charge it.
Ouch.
A little surprised. I think I'm always sensitive, having played some baseball and softball in the middle of the diamond.
Yes.
But that is not a hit. It is called an error on the Argentine national team member who, for his home country, is generally at second base. Ladislav Malerzuk is their starting shortstop internationally. Shortstop Kevin Schellenberg. He kind of surprised me on the way into the ballpark today. He said hello, and before I could kind of get my bearings about me, I did say hello back, but would have really liked to have had a visit with him. I know he's a huge sports fan. Social media will tell you that, and I've admired this guy for a long, long time. Played for Canada's national team forever, and now at 43 is still performing and has his first hit of the 2024 ISC World Tournament, a single into left.
When you can get 8 and 9 out of your bottom of your order working and producing some offense, that's a bonus.
And Braden Arcand, who on the first pitch of the game flew out to Kimlinger in center field, finds himself back up. Kilpatrick with a little tap for the home plate umpire.
The umpiring crew for today's game, Mark Corris from Prescott, Arizona. First base is Eric Salgado from Kissimmee, Florida. Third base is George Lemaitre from Hamilton, Ontario.
One out, and Grand Prairie threatening to add to their lead. Keegan Arcand has hit a solo homer. That's how the top of the second began for Grand Prairie in this battle with the AWP Lumberjacks. Grand Prairie with a 4-2 record in last year's tournament in Denmark, Wisconsin, which left them in a tie for 7th. So on your way back through the losers bracket, the reason there's a tie is somebody's out on each side of the bracket, Joe, at the same time. I hope that makes some sense.
Yes, it does.
I know it will to you. It's not always that easy to understand if you don't have the concept of the bracket, and this is a rocket off the bat of Braden Arcand from Morinville, Alberta. He had an impressive opening game. He was 2 for 4 with a double and a run batted in.
With 2 out, Kilpatrick and Sachs have to get right on that same page and make sure you keep that ball low, keep it in the infield. I'd be throwing drops or nothing but drops to Arcand.
And the pitch misses outside. Would appear it's a steady diet of drops.
And exactly, that's the pitch, especially with, you want to keep that ball in the infield now. Shut the door. You've given up that 1 run now. You don't want to add to it.
You'd love a nice hard hit 1-hop ball to the shortstop for a chance to turn 2, although the way that Braden runs, he's a hard guy to double up. But he's certainly capable of hitting it to you hard enough to give you an opportunity. That is for certain. And again, trying to peck away, and that's what Kilpatrick does. Peck away, move the ball, a little up and down, side to side. Location, location, location.
I think the count is 2-2.
And there it is for the third out. There's Olizer. All he had to do was take about a half a step. Keegan Arcand with a solo home run has given Grand Prairie an early 1-0 lead.
He came from Australia with a superstar pedigree. And from his first ISC in 2003, you knew he was going to be something special. 6 times All-World, a 3-time ISC champion, and now the first Aussie inducted into the ISC Hall of Fame. From counting materials and the farm in Wisconsin, to Kitchener, to finding a home in the New York Gremlins colours. Congratulations, Jeff Goolagong, from all of us.
Does your game need work? Want to get better every game? Every at-bat? You need Lumberjacks Sports, focusing on exceptional quality and providing players with reliable, long-lasting product. Lumberjacks Sports brings you in-game equipment and off-field workout gear designed and tested by top fastball player Nick Shales. Hard work, strength, and all-around commitment to getting the job done and done right is the motto for Lumberjacks Sports. Learn from the best. Play like the best.
Welcome back to the fabulous facility known as Softball City. 4 diamonds in use today in the 36-team 2024 ISC Men's World Tournament. We have a matchup in the round of 16 in the winner's bracket. Grand Prairie on a Keegan Arcand home run have a 1-0 lead over the AWP Lumberjacks. An Argentine national team member and third baseman Federico Olizer leads off. He was an all-world player in this event 1 year ago. 1 for 2 in his tournament opener against the Pegasus Redmen and scored a couple of runs.
Olheiser very deep in that batter's box.
Yeah, you cannot be any farther back. And he is dug right in, too. And had a big cut at the changeup from Mannion. Federico, impressive in Prince Albert earlier this summer, playing for Argentina. He was 5 for 10. He tripled and drove in 4 runs. He had a couple of multi-hit games. Helped Argentina win the World Championship, now known as the Men's World Cup, in 2019 in Prague. And Mannion plunks him. Hit him on the big elbow pad, so he didn't even flinch.
Now,
so when you end up with a run, for the defensive team, Joe, what you really would like is to put up a 0 right after it, if possible.
yeah, you really want to shut that door, but on that offensive side, AWP want to find a reply to that run put on the board. Starts off with a hit by pitch there on Olheiser.
Cisco Sabate. Squared to bunt. But coaches will ask you to bunt strikes. So he takes. Cisco 0 for 2 in his tournament opener. He's from Paraná, Argentina, or parts there and about. There are other communities where people come from that play the sport. They just all gather.
They just have a factory
They
there.
just have a factory there, and it's a great factory, I might add. Here's another member of it. 5 for 12 in last year's tournament was Sabate. And Mannion misses and asking where the pitch was to the home plate umpire. Riley's given up 1 hit. And the Lumberjacks looking, as Joe Todd mentioned, to respond to the run they just gave up. And that's actually 4 consecutive balls. So not the start that Riley Mannion was hoping for as he hit a batter and now has walked a batter. And brings to the plate Champlin, Minnesota's Tyler Booley. 0 for 2 in his tournament opener, was 3 for 11 in Denmark, Wisconsin in the 2023 tournament. As Mannion comes inside but high for ball 1.
Booley is the DP in this game. With the none out, would you put the green light on, or would you early in the game, or would you let him hit away?
I'm letting him hit in this situation.
Especially down 1 run.
And now you don't have to think about it.
No.
So Riley Mannion having some control trouble, and there is work in the pen for Grand Prairie. There's Liam Potts, the 20-year-old from Christchurch, New Zealand, who we saw in relief of Mannion in the game against Georgian Bay on Saturday, is quickly working. And there's a strike. Mannion's first strike in his last 7 pitches. So the infield in for Grand Prairie, up a run early in the game. And Booley looking to draw his team, the Lumberjacks, even. And you can just tell in the body language.
Getting very frustrated.
And for young pitchers,
I think if I was the catcher right now, I'd be stopping time, calling time, going out on the mound.
Too.
Take your defensive conference right here.
On the ground to Corey Jones, and it will hold Federico Olheiser. Talked about Kilpatrick becoming a part of the University of Washington staff. Who's 3 rows in front of us? None other than the young woman I talked about, Jen Salling, is right in front of us.
Oh, very good.
There she is.
Yeah.
Don't know if we can get
Welcome.
Carl to take a shot of her at some point in the game. What a great player she was. Helped Canada to their first ever Olympic medal in the summer of 2021. Has moved back to her alma mater, where she was a superstar at the University of Washington. And I'm going to guess she's here to watch Kilpatrick pitch.
Yes.
In part. And obviously she's from this part of the world. So here to watch Jennifer Salling. Remember watching her for the first time internationally at the Peter Hallman Ball Yard in Kitchener, Ontario, back in about the year 2007. She was the starting shortstop then. What a great hitter. Back to the men's game. The story time with Lou comes to an end. Tyler Booley grounds out. 3 unassisted, and here's Ivan Sachs, who's, yes, from that softball factory, again, in Argentina. Runners at second and third. In fact, everybody involved right now, Joe, either on base or at home plate in blue. Well, they're in the right colors because they're all from Argentina. Every one of them for AWP. Best players here in the world. Wide of third base.
So important for Sachs to have a good time at bat here. Drive in these 2 runs. Get back in the game.
And what a spot for Riley Mannion, the pitcher, to try to work his way out of after some early control troubles to begin this half inning. Grand Prairie in front. Round of 16 today in the winner's bracket, and this will certainly tie the game deep enough to Walushka that will allow Wollheiser to score and Sabate to move up. So an important run batted in. His second run batted in of the tournament for number 13, the catcher Ivan Sachs.
Very important to get that high ball and drive it out to the outfield.
That's what you call a good piece of hitting.
Great plate appearance.
And in the number 9 spot is Frank Kimlinger from St. Paul, Minnesota. He's a Team USA player, certainly in the system. He's part of their U23 national team program and had quite a cut. And he had quite an opening day, Joe, in the win over Pegasus. He was 3 for 4 with a couple of doubles and 2 runs batted in the 9-0 victory.
Fairly well a newcomer to the ISC program, just his second year, I believe.
Well, he is up there swinging, and with a purpose, I might add. Obviously feeling awfully good coming into the game. Any 3 for 4 appearance will help your plate confidence.
And he's batting 9th. He loves it there, though.
I wouldn't know about it. I don't think I had 3 hits in any month that I played, let alone in the same day. Mannion, and that pitch was high, and Corey Jones takes care of it in foul territory. We have seen a ball or two spin back fairly in the first couple of days here in that same neighborhood. Great playing conditions. Comfortable for all on day 3. Change up.
Good pitch, just missing off that outside corner of the plate.
And for the 25-year-old right-hander from Ontario, if that pitch ever becomes regular and consistently effective, it could really turn him from where he is now into an elite. And he has lots of years left to perfect the craft. And I know that right now, Canadian head coach John Stewart in attendance. This one gets away, but Riley does well to hustle to keep Sabate at third. He started his way home. In fact, the majority of the Hill United team, the Canadian national men's team head coach John Stewart helps coach, is literally right in front of us. They have won their round of 16 game today. I shouldn't say that, I'm assuming, but
I think, well, possibly. We'll have a look at the scores.
Kimlinger, that one almost into the parking lot, but well foul.
Yeah, Hill United won by a score of 6-1 over the Pueblo Bandits. Final score now. We get a chance, we'll go over the complete scores for all the games today since 8 o'clock this morning.
3 balls and 2 strikes. The Lumberjacks have drawn even, and they want that ball back in and maybe to use. O'Reilly will make a decision. Now, wouldn't the umpires want to potentially have a peek at that when it comes in from where it just wound up?
They should be.
Well, another key 3-2 to Frank Kimlinger. And it's up and out of the zone. And Donnie Atkinson, who generally serves as the head coach of this Grand Prairie Pirates team, does have lefty Liam Potts up and working again. We've yet to see their Czech pitcher, Jonas Hajny.
Hajny, yes.
And he is not working as of yet. So an interesting spot in the game as Kimlinger walks. And to the top of the order, and Valdemar Turkelson, they call him Valdi, who doubled in the bottom half of the first inning. His AWP has answered the solo home run off the bat of Keegan Arcand in the top of the inning. And Mannion's thrown a lot of pitches. This should make its way out of play, barely, but does.
Valdi very versatile, too. He can be called upon as that third pitcher on this team.
He is from Copenhagen, Denmark. And I love the fact that we have players from so many different countries participating in this great sport and this great event. Kimlinger, who can run, on the go, and now there's 2 runners in scoring position. Joe, it's early, but this already feels like a very important spot in the game.
Yes, extremely important. So, AWP down 1 run here. Got to get back in this. Oh, sorry, we're tied up now. Sorry. On that sacrifice fly.
Runners at third and second. 2 out, and Riley Mannion searching for an answer. And he hasn't found it yet today. He's not in a rhythm. And he knows it, and so does everyone else. But that's part of the sport, working your way out of things when maybe you don't take your best into the circle. That's a great separator. Because you don't go out there every day with your best stuff, ever.
No.
Like the rest of us. And Turkelson had a good whack at that, but fouled it away as his quality at bat continues. Important game in the round of 16. We've had a few of them today. The Gremlins have advanced. Hill United has advanced. What we would call a bit of an upset with the Circle Tap Dukes losing to Glowworm. They're not San Antonio anymore, I understand.
No, they moved into the Mexico area.
And there's Turkelson staying alive one more time in search of his second consecutive hit in the game.
Great leadoff hitter, always going to put the ball in play.
He was 1 for 1 in their opening game, so now 2 for 2 in the tournament.
Just slapped that ball out to right field last time.
So he has as many hits, Joe, in 2024 as he did in 2023. He had 2 of them.
Very productive year then.
So far. And you get the sense there might be more of them on the way. This has been a good at-bat no matter how it ends up. And he hits it high and deep. And caught. Braden Arcan saves a 3-run home run off the bat of Turkelson. File that one in the memory bank, and well worth another look. Had enough to get out. Arcan wouldn't allow it. It's 1-1 after 2.
Welcome to Mont Hill Golf and Country Club. With our beautiful 27-hole golf course open to the public, we work tirelessly to ensure your time with us is second to none. Well, here you'll be able to enjoy an incredible dining experience at our very own Big Pete's Steakhouse. Play some of the best courses in the world with our state-of-the-art golf simulators. Upgrade your gear with the top brands at our pro shop, or host a stunning wedding, event, or conference inside one of our beautiful ballrooms. Learn all this and more at monthill.ca.
Felt like a good one. There's the Hill United Chiefs, fresh off their second consecutive victory here at Softball City, as they downed the Pueblo Bandits 6-1 in a game that ended a short time ago. One of the teams with very high expectations, Joe Todd.
Number 2 coming in on the rankings.
Next to the New York Gremlins, the number 1 ranked team and also the reigning champs. They were winners earlier today over the Midland Explorers in a game that went 5 innings. Corey Jones, no trouble at second base for Pannebecker, and there is one away to start the third. Corey Jones off to a good start in the tournament, already with 3 hits. And we didn't really make mention of it because things went very quickly, but Patrick Burns actually made an out in the ballpark his last time. He struck out against Bradley Kilpatrick. And Burns didn't like that pitch. He thought it was inside. But it is given a strike. I know nothing about Kilpatrick's eating habits, although he looks like he's in great shape. I wonder if he eats like he pitches. And what I mean by that, he does a lot of nibbling. And in the best and most respectful way. He's a pitcher, Joe. That's what is very apparent early on. And this, I mentioned it earlier, my first in-person viewing of him. Moves it around.
Very smart.
Highly intelligent. Good down movement. Side to side. Dealing with Patrick Burns. And comes in on him, and Kilpatrick really liked the pitch. And for good reason. Mm-hmm. Burns stays alive on it. He's certainly not one of the harder throwers.
No, he just hits the target, hits his mitt, moves the ball up, moves the ball down, moves it in, moves it out.
Look at the movement on that drop. As he strikes out Burns for a second consecutive time. And that's strikeout number 3 in the game for Kilpatrick, the Australian who resides in the United States and plays for the United States internationally. And if the United States advances to next year's Men's World Cup in Prince Albert, would expect him to be part of their staff along with Marco Diaz.
I would think so, yes.
And others. And they will be in a position to compete for the title. I don't think there's any doubt about that.
No, they've really created a lot of strength in their program.
It will be the best United States men's national team, I would suggest, going back a long way. Maybe all the way back to their gold medal win in Saskatoon in 1988.
Wow.
Is knee high with a big swing and a miss. Now, please don't be upset at me. I know they've been very competitive in other years, but I do. I think they have a chance to win the whole ball of wax.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't really thought that for a long time. Knee high, lifts it, just that, high. Eder back and takes care of business. So a quick 1-2-3 inning go the Pirates in the top of the third in a 1-1 draw at Softball City.
Dreamcatcher, inch by inch, we'll fight to make the lives of First Nations people in this community, this province, and on this continent better. I know we have a long way to go, but I'm proud to say as long as our people have a need, Dreamcatcher will be there for them.
Federico Eder, who recorded the last putout, leads things off for the AWP Lumberjacks. He grounded out to first baseman Corey Jones in his first plate appearance today. He was a member of the JB Bombers last year, was Eder. He had an amazing 2019 tournament, Joe, with the Circle Tap Dukes. He was 10 for 19 with 9 runs batted in.
A great compliment to anyone's top part of that roster.
And mentioned earlier how good he is defensively, the softball IQ, very high, and has a base hit. Eder gets the job done, and AWP with a little something brewing in the bottom of the third, courtesy of the Argentine national team member. And now a member of the all-name team, Cody Pennebecker. And Cody with an I. He flew out to Patrick Burns in right field his first time today. Change up, walloped, over the head as Walushka took a step in. Eder's going to get the wave. Schellenberg's throw will be cut off. And an RBI double off the bat of Pennebecker gives AWP their first advantage of the afternoon.
You'll see he hit a clothesline out to left field. Just a rope out there.
Well, Walushka, off the bat, took about a step and a half in and then went, uh-oh, I need to go back. So Pennebecker with an RBI double, and that's going to bring an end to the day for Riley Mannion, and you can tell as he saunters his way toward the dugout. There's just some days, Joe, you don't have your best stuff.
Not his.
And Liam Potts enters the game to make his second consecutive appearance in his second ISC World Tournament, his first with Grand Prairie. In the game against Georgian Bay, It was a bit of a rocky road for the 20-year-old from New Zealand. Gave up 4 runs in 2 2/3, 4 hits, struck out 2, walked 2. And he finds himself in a difficult position with a runner in scoring position and nobody out in the third, and the number 4 hitter in the lineup about to face him in left fielder Jonathan Lynch. Lynch was really impressive last year. He was 8 for 15, 3 doubles and 12 runs batted in. He had 4 multi-hit games, Joe, in Denmark, Wisconsin. And he had 4 multi-RBI games as well.
When you're on a roll, you're on a roll.
From Missouri.
Show me state.
Well, he's been showing you. He did ground out to Corey Jones at first. And the home plate umpire wants something a little different as far as the warm-up.
Moving the pitcher and catcher down farther. Or they're flipping them around. Putting the catcher at this end, I guess, are they?
I don't think so. I think there's 2 catchers out there.
Oh, okay.
And I would think that would be Hajni getting ready. Would have to be with the jacket on. He is their 3rd pitcher. Haven't seen him yet, which I'm a little surprised about. Well, we have seen Jonathan Lynch. 2 for 5 now in the first few days of the tournament. Looked to drop down a bunt, but fouled it back of the screen. So Grand Prairie, who jumped into a 1-0 lead on a Keegan Arcan solo blast to left center, now trail AWP, the Lumberjacks, 2-1. And can Grand Prairie limit the damage with their 20-year-old left-hander in Liam Potts, who, when it is working well, has a terrific changeup. There's a pretty good rise to get a very good hitter in Lynch for out number 1.
Very important strikeout there.
Olizer, a mammoth of a man in his own right.
That is the first strikeout for the Grand Prairie Pirates today.
Olizer was hit by a pitch and had a strong notion and quickness from Pennebecker. He doesn't need much of a spill to make his way 60 more feet towards home plate.
So that's just good base running. Watching that pitch all the way in, seeing the catcher struggling with it, getting a good jump. Home plate umpire Mark Corris is getting it from the Grand Prairie Pirates dugout on the balls and strikes. Giving them a warning for the coaching staff.
As Potts give Arcan behind home plate credit. He might have saved a run. In fact, with the speed of Pennebecker, almost certainly did. So in an important spot in this round of 16 on the winner's bracket. And Potts trying to battle his way out as he's taken over in the inning from Riley Mannion, who just couldn't find his groove today. But we'll hear from him again. There's no doubt about that. Olizer in a position to add to his team's advantage. And he was certain as he shakes his head to say that's no doubt a ball. And these two faced one another internationally earlier this year in Prince Albert. And good eye from Olizer. He's on base this time with a walk. Just one out. Wouldn't say that there's great speed at first. to put on a running play, but one never knows with Sabate.
I wouldn't think so.
Sabate walked.
You're setting yourself up for a big inning, potential inning here.
But when you have trouble finding the ball,
Yep.
that will help you move into scoring position.
Good read by Olheiser to advance down to second base.
Joe, pitching is so critical, and right now the Pirates pitchers trying to find their way. And more about control than anything else. It's not like they've been hit all over the lot.
No, just having trouble finding that strike zone.
5 total hits in the game, 2 for Grand Prairie, 5 in total between the two, 3 for AWP. Change up on the ground. Mason will come home, and they'll get Pannebecker. And now there's a rundown. Arcan fakes and tags Olheiser. Well, that can turn a game in a hurry. A very unconventional double play. Not even going to try and score it in the book. But it keeps it at 2-1 AWP. To the 4th we go on the ISC network.
Does your game need work? Want to get better every game, every at-bat? You need Lumberjacks Sports, focusing on exceptional quality and providing players with reliable, long-lasting product. Lumberjacks Sports brings you in-game equipment and off-field workout gear, designed and tested by top fastball player Nick Shales. Hard work, strength, and all-around commitment to getting the job done, and done right, is the motto for Lumberjacks Sports. Learn from the best. Play like the best. Check out lumberjacksports.ca.
There's the great Jennifer Salling. Probably taking some hitting notes.
Yeah.
The Olympic medalist.
Little camera hog there.
That's awesome. It's great to see her always. First pitch. Kilpatrick.
Good hand-eye reflexes there.
I don't know if he can teach that at the University of Washington or not, but I'm sure he'll give it a go.
Got a little snicker on his face.
Well, that's quite an out off Keegan Arcan, who had homered his last time up. And there's one away in the 4th as Derek Mason struck out on a good down-low outside offering from Kilpatrick. His first time up, steps in. The Nibbler. That's what I'm going to nickname him. Kilpatrick the Nibbler. Ball and a strike to Mason, who tried to lay down a bunt.
Not a bad idea with the corners playing deep.
Never a bad thing to put some balls in play and make somebody defend. Sometimes that doesn't happen quite as often as you'd like.
Pitchers warming up in the bullpen on Grand Prairie side.
Yeah, it's Hajni.
Hajni out.
Continues to work. We've yet to see him here in Softball City. As Mason having a pretty good bat against the Nibbler, Bradley Kilpatrick. Kilpatrick has given up 2 hits, one of them a solo shot to Arcan. As in Keegan, not Braden. Have to clarify. Pool cued off the bat.
Better chalk up here.
This is an interesting pitcher. I'm quite fascinated. And I'm really appreciating the work because so much of this game has become about power.
Mm-hmm.
This guy's not about power. He's about pitching.
Yeah, smart. There's throwers and there's pitchers.
Great phrase. And the pitcher just won against a really good veteran batter who he strikes out for the second time in the game, and that's his fourth of the contest for Kilpatrick, who is now sat down 6 in a row.
And 2 tough batters. He's got Patrick Burns with 2 strikeouts and Derek Mason with 2 strikeouts. Those aren't, weak time at bats.
No, they certainly aren't. There aren't many weak at bats in either one of these 2 lineups. Chris Walushka. Kilpatrick also not afraid to run around a little bit.
Gets his steps in.
Yeah, he does get his steps in. And it's the down movement as well. Side to side. And he is making life pretty miserable right at this very second on the Grand Prairie Pirate batters. 2 out. AWP leading the game 2-1. They scored in the last 2, and there's a good piece of hitting. Went down and got it. Now he'll try and go to second, and he slides in safely.
Good aggressive base running there. Put the ball in front of him. You can see that fielder feeling that ball.
A 2-out double as he tests left fielder Jonathan Lynch. And a head-first slide. The throw a little bit offline, but I'm not sure it would have gotten him regardless.
No, I think he was in there.
So the third hit of the afternoon for Grand Prairie belongs to Walushka from Langford, British Columbia. And now it's Scott Galenza. Kilpatrick says,
Whoa.
I've got it, but then he didn't have it. And fortunately for AWP, Federico Olizer did. That was a disaster averted. It remains 2-1 AWP.
Do you need a reliable supply of products to run your business? Are you tired of having to deal with multiple suppliers to get everything you need? Absolute Business Supply is your dedicated, full-service business supply partner offering over 400,000 products and unmatched customer service. At ABS, we aren't just selling products. We offer a commitment to building meaningful relationships with our customers, getting to know your business goals so we can provide the best possible solutions for your needs. Find us on the web at Absolute Business Supply.
I wonder if this gentleman came to the park today anticipating a very competitive round of 16 game, Joe, as we did, and it has delivered so far. Grand Prairie trailing the AWP Lumberjacks is a quick base hit off the bat of Tyler Booley. And the Lumberjacks, with the leadoff man aboard, they've scored in their last 2 at-bats to take a 1-run advantage.
Good slap there by Booley, putting the ball in play.
Right back up the middle on the pitch from Potts, who replaced Riley Mannion in the last inning. Would appear that we're going to have a running change. Is Juan Martin Vala will run at first for Booley, the designated player. Ivan Sachs at home plate. He was 1 for 9 in last year's tournament with R.M. Kurtz. Lays down the bunt. Mason with only one play to make. Big turn as the covering Galenza to Schellenberg, but not in time to look after the pinch running Vela, who did almost take one too many steps at second, but a well-sacrificed laid down bunt by Sachs.
Great execution. Well done. Another skill lost.
Indeed. Frank Kimlinger with a really good at-bat before he walked in the second. 3 for 4 officially in the tournament. Has a couple of doubles. Was 4 for 14 with LC Ostrander, including 3 home runs last year. So he's got some pop in that bat. Homered in 3 of the 4 games that he played. The only team he didn't homer against was the Glowworm. And they've won a big game today. And he was well out in front of the Potts changeup that time around. More great action to come your way as the day continues. Our focus is on the winners bracket and the round of 16. And this is not the only good matchup of the day, and we've already had a couple others. Gremlins and the Hill United Chiefs, they are, I would say, the 2 heavy favorites to play for the title. They have both won their second consecutive games here today after winning their openers yesterday. Circle Tap Dukes were hoping to be in that category, but they lost to Glowworm.
9 innings. 2 extra innings this morning.
And here at the ISC, there's no international tiebreaker rule. They play it right out. Base hit. Kimlinger. Foul of the wave. The throw home is not in time. And Kimlinger's going to take advantage by scooting to third.
You see the umpire's arm out at second base. He's calling obstruction, automatically awarding third base to Kimlinger.
So Frank Kimlinger's terrific ISC start continues. Another run batted in, his 4th hit in 2 games. And his 3rd run batted in, and AWP has extended their lead to 3-1, and he finds himself at third base. And Turkelson missed on a failed bunt attempt. Grand Prairie might be in a position already, Joe, here in the bottom of the 4th. They do not want to give up too many more, although they are more than capable of delivering a big inning or 2.
Some big bats, but you got to silence, you got to play some good defense and get some real good pitching.
And now Hajni back to work, this time without the jacket on. The Czechia international, Jonas Hajni. Diving Corey Jones, but it's foul. Mom and Dad in attendance, just Father Dad, Jim, a Hall of Famer in his own right. Mom Lynn is a Hall of Famer too in my books. Just awesome people. Terrific softball family. Boy, could Dad hit. Oh, son's pretty good too. So's Turkelson. This is going to fall, and the difference is 3. Valdi Turkelson has his 2nd hit of the afternoon and a run batted in. And AWP, the Lumberjacks, stretch their lead to 4-1.
Turkelson willing to take that pitch the other way to drive in Kimlinger from third base.
It has been a very opportunistic AWP Lumberjack team. Certainly made the most of their hits. And Eder goes around for a strike.
3 hits this inning.
think they're up to a total of 5. Joe, I'll get you to check that. And Eder had a good whack at that offering. Sent it straight back. And anytime that's the case, you know that the batter has just missed it. Eder singled his last time up. He's 1 for 2 in the game and has scored a run. An 0-2 pitch. No harm done. In a good spot as far as Potts is concerned. And Eder able to lay off of it. So the Lumberjacks have scored 2 in this inning and now lead 4-1. As Grand Prairie has been able and unable to limit the damage the last 3 at-bats. The wind is starting to pick up this afternoon. It tends to swirl in this diamond. On the ground to Galenza. Handles a bit of a tricky late hop well. And there's 2 away. And here's Cody Pannebecker, who doubled and drove in a run in the 3rd. Swing and a miss from Pannebecker. Grand Prairie looking for a defensive stop right now. They do not want to give up anymore. Because Bradley Kilpatrick has become more and more difficult as the game has gone on the other side of the equation.
Pitched extremely well this morning, this afternoon.
Pannebecker into it, but Burns will take a few steps and haul it in. 2 more Lumberjack runs have crossed home plate, and the difference is 3.
We'll stay up this inning, and we'll go over some scores from this morning's games for you, keeping you up to date if you're keeping track back home. The Tropics from Australia defeated the Georgian Bay Giants by a score of 2-0. The Pegasus Redmond defeated the Chippewa Chiefs by a score of 4-3. The Northeast Drillers defeated the SDK Fastball team by 11-0 margin. The Glowworm team, that was the game we talked about on the air. Glowworm knocking off Circle Tap Dukes by a 2-1 score. That game going into the 9th inning. The Lacey A's team defeated the Ripper Fastball team by a 5-0 margin. Waterdown Hammer defeated the Dirt Dogs by a score of 5-0. The New York Gremlins knocked off the Midland Explorers 9-0. Hill United Chiefs knocking off Pueblo Bandits 6-1. The Emory Electric Chargers, the team of the best dressed uniforms, knocked off the Walton Brewers by a score of 7-4. And now we're caught up to date.
Thank you, Joe. That deserves a timeout for you. Kevin Schellenberg, as it's a 3-run deficit now for Grand Prairie. Eder plays it off the side and paid a price for doing so. Tried to anticipate the high hop. It did take a high hop, but it went right by him. And when you take the ball on the side, it has nothing to hit if it doesn't hit your glove. So exactly what the Pirates were looking for, a base runner, as Schellenberg has his 2nd consecutive hit. Back-to-back singles for the 43-year-old. And the top of the order, and Braden Arcan, who is 0 for 2, flew out, and then the inning ended on a ball that he hit to third base, where Olheiser just stepped on the bag to end the inning. So Grand Prairie more than capable in this part of their lineup to have a big inning against Bradley Kilpatrick. A good turn indeed. That's what the ball does. As it curved and dipped. In on the hands of Braden Arcan. Now down and away, but out of the zone from Kilpatrick, who's given up 4 hits and only the 1 run. Took something off.
Good location there by Kilpatrick.
Little change of pace. Strikeout number 5 for Kilpatrick. As Corey Jones takes in. And Corey can change a game in a heartbeat with 1 swing. No shortage of power in that bat, and he didn't like that call. You don't need a lot of guesses to understand that. Ball and a strike to the first baseman, Corey Jones. Corey has walked and grounded out to Panabecker over at second today after a 3-hit outing versus Georgian Bay on Saturday. When you're down runs, you want to string some hits together if you can. But Kilpatrick has other ideas. 3 balls and a strike is the count. So it's a hitter's count to Jones. Tries to take advantage. Breakup slide by Schellenberg will make sure they stay out of a double play.
Good play by Panabecker to cut down that lead runner.
And Patrick Burns, who has struck out twice, hopes to find that softball city form again. When you add the Canadian Championships a year ago to day 1 of the ISC this year, he was 18 for 22 coming into the game in his last 2 major events in this park, and finally cooled off so far today as he struck out twice versus Kilpatrick. This in a tough spot. And Panabecker almost made a bare-handed catch. And Burns is back in the hit column again. What an effort. Well worth another peek.
A great attempt here by Panabecker. Got a glove on it.
I think tough to tell just visually on our monitor. I think, Joe, to be honest, it was more the bare hand than the glove.
Oh, is that right?
But
yeah.
you might have been right. Mm-hmm. Just our position in the booth, time of the day. Difficult to see the monitor. But it was a great try by Panabecker as Burns has another base hit.
It's always good when you can hit that ball into the Bermuda Triangle.
It's right where he put it. So first and third for Scott Nehigh. Lefty against lefty. The 43-year-old veteran Nehigh made his Team Canada debut earlier this year in Prince Albert. Hit it hard. Panabecker takes care of business. So Grand Prairie threatens. But Kilpatrick with some help out of a jam, and the Lumberjacks continue to lead by 3 on the ISC network.
The annual Boys of Summer tournament is held every July at the Circle Top Bar and Grill in Denmark, Wisconsin. We host some of the top teams in the game at one of the best venues in softball. The atmosphere of old-time fast pitch with all of the amenities of a full-service bar and grill in the grounds can't be beat. Reduced-rate hotels about 10 minutes from the park are available in Green Bay. To bring your team to the annual Boys of Summer Tournament next July, contact Dean Kane at deankane16@gmail.com. Thanks to Circle Tap for their support of the broadcast.
For the best Bear Tent banter on the airwaves, listen to Dust Up with Hilly and Lolly. Here's some of the biggest stars chatting with two of Newfoundland's own, Jason Hill and Steve Mullally. It's unfiltered and uncensored. Dust Up with Hilly and Lolly, wherever you get your podcasts. Yes, bye.
Great show. And we're watching a good show ourselves in this round of 16 in the winners bracket game on Monday at the 2024 ISC Men's World Tournament. AWP with runs in their last 3 at-bats to forge a 4-1 advantage as they hope to keep their tournament on the right side of the bracket. Kilpatrick so far has outdueled the combination of Riley Mannion and Liam Potts.
So important for the Grand Prairie Pirates to shut the door here if they want a chance to come back.
6-5 are the hits. So it's been, as I mentioned earlier, an opportunistic AWP team. They've pretty much taken advantage of every opportunity today as Jonathan Lynch with a mighty cut but fouls that away. Lynch is 0 for 2 in the game. He grounded out to Corey Jones at first and then struck out. He was the first batter that Liam Potts faced when he entered the game in the 3rd inning. Grand Prairie could use a 0, you're right, and that might help. As Lynch uncomfortable on that high rise that was well out of the strike zone. And it's the 2nd strikeout for Liam Potts, just 20 years of age from Christchurch, New Zealand. He has a bright future. Olizer hit by a pitch and walked. And fouls it towards his head coach, who made a nice play off his foot to his hand, and back in it comes. You make a mistake to this guy, it can go a long way. Potts upstairs with a rise and misses to even the count at 1-1 to Federico Olizer.
Potts is being very careful.
Did have a home run, Olizer, last year in the tournament. It came against the Kegel Black Knights. His most productive ISC in recent memory was when he drove in 6 runs in 2018 with the Ostrander Norsemen. 5 for 12 overall in 2023. Looking to add to that in 2024. And a 2-2 pitch. Change up and
great pitch.
Fooled him completely. Maybe the best pitch of the afternoon for Potts. Olizer was not expecting the change and thus could not pull the trigger when it occurred.
Great call there by Keegan Arcant.
Cisco Sabate. It's one of the good names, too. From Argentina, he's walked and grounded into a fielder's choice. In fact, he was a part of the wild inning-ending double play in the bottom of the 3rd that started with a 5-2 put out, and then I can't give you all the rest. But he was the guy who hit it to Derek Mason at 3rd, who came home to get Pannebecker, who was the lead runner, and away we went. Olizer ended up making the last out in a rundown between 3rd and home. And Sabate takes a strike. 2-2 to Cisco from Paraná, or parts in and around Paraná in Argentina. Change up again. Pool cue. Mason with a quick delivery. One company would say that delivery was hot and ready, but they don't pay us. 3 up, 3 down. Exactly what Grand Prairie was looking for in the bottom of the 5th.
Peligro Sports provides the essentials needed to give your team an edge on the field. Our brand is rooted in creating a unique experience tailored to the specific needs of your team to ensure your performance is at the best level to execute plays. At Peligro Sports, we rally behind our athletes and understand their fight to take their game to a dangerous level. Visit our store at 2200 Amsterdam Avenue in New York City or see us online at peligrosportsnyc.com. Thanks to Jose and Peligro Sports for their support of the broadcast.
Let's talk about a local one-stop shop. Live Well for Life is just that, a fitness, nutrition, and therapy facility all under one roof. Located at 3878 Wellington Street.
The gentleman who has supplied the only Grand Prairie run is the leadoff batter in the 6th, Keegan Arcan. Actually, Joe gave them a 1-0 lead back in the top of the 2nd with a solo shot to left center. His next at-bat, he hit a ball pretty crisp right back at Kilpatrick, who did quite a dance to make the catch and then retire him over at first.
Was also very instrumental in that double play ball. He applied the tag at home plate and then was the final tag on the rundown.
Keegan takes in the inner half. And he gives the business to the home plate umpire and probably needs to be a little careful. Very much showed his disdain. Steps back into the box. A 1-2 count. And Arcan thought about staying there one more time. And Hetty, we might have had our first ejection. But the nibbler, as I like to call him, Bradley Kilpatrick, continues to do it with authority. That was a quality down pitch in the outside corner to get Arcan with his 6th strikeout. Derek Mason. Well struck. And gone. Vancouver's own Derek Mason launches one out of here. And Grand Prairie with some momentum, they cut the gap to 4-2.
Kilpatrick just got too much of that plate and the upper body strength of Mason driving that ball out of the ballpark.
Left it in the middle. And when you do that to this guy, it can be trouble, and was. Is Derek Mason with his first hit of this ISC World Tournament. And now Walushka with another of his own, his 2nd of the day. Hitting can be contagious. And that was lined with authority into left by Walushka, who has doubled and singled.
7 hits for Grand Prairie now in the game. 6 hits for the Lumberjacks.
And Scott Galenza, if ever there was a time for this gentleman, who I think was robbed of a hit earlier in the game by some tough scoring. What does this guy have to do to register one?
If I was one of the 2 Federicos on the left side of the infield, I'd be playing a little bit behind the bag. He pulls the ball a lot.
Yeah, there's some room there. And it was headed in that neighborhood too, but pitch on the outside corner. So the home run by Mason has ignited Grand Prairie. You get to this point in the tournament with these types of teams, leads aren't completely safe. And Galenza with a nice cut, but missed. Schellenberg on deck, and Kevin is 2 for 2 today. The 43-year-old from Squamish, British Columbia. Galenza pokes it. It'll leave Olizer with only one play. So Galenza moving Walushka at least into scoring position down at second with the ground out.
Good play by the third baseman, Federico Olheiser, to get in front of his counterpart at shortstop and take that ball. Good communications.
Schellenberg will step in. He's returned. What a treat it's been, I'm sure, for these longtime great players, Mason, Schellenberg, and others, to play this event in their home province. And Schellenberg has his third straight hit, and he's going to cut the gap to 4-3. The 43-year-old having a day on this Monday at the ISC World Tournament.
Great production coming out of that 9-hole for Grand Prairie.
And a visit from the skipper. And he's going to take the ball. We will have a pitching change and be back to tell you about it. Grand Prairie is cut into the AWP lead. They now trail it 4-3. Back after this.
Sometimes people worry about asking for help because there can be a stigma around mental health problems.
Trust your teammates.
Trust your teammates.
Trust your teammates.
They might believe that asking for help means admitting that something's wrong.
Trust your teammates. Trust your teammates.
Some people worry about how others might see them.
Trust your teammates. Trust your teammates.
Asking for help means that you want to make changes and take the first steps towards better mental health.
Trust your teammates.
Trust your teammates.
We should celebrate the courage it takes to speak up and make changes.
Trust your teammates. Trust your teammates.
Getting help is part of recovery.
Trust your teammates.
Trust your teammates.
Mental health isn't something you need to keep to yourself. Talk to a friend. Trust your teammates. You're not alone.
Trust your teammates.
Trust your teammates.
The first steps may be the toughest, but knowing where to look for help is a good start. Community mental health organizations like the Canadian Mental Health Association or Mental Health America offer resources and programs that can help you. Visit cmha.ca or mentalhealthamerica.net to find a branch in your community.
And remember,
Trust your teammates.
Trust your teammates.
The new pitcher is Team USA member Cody Gibbons, who pitched last year for the Georgian Bay Giants. In his second appearance of this 2024 ISC Men's World Tournament, he threw an inning and 2/3 in their tournament opening win versus the Pegasus Redmond. But in a more interesting situation now, as Gibbons delivers a strike to Braden Arcan. 2 runs in, the last one courtesy of Kevin Schellenberg's third single of the game.
AWP have to stop this bleeding here.
And Gibbons very much a different type of thrower than the one that Grand Prairie has been facing.
A lot of body parts in action.
So Cody Gibbons tucks in and gets set. And works outside and misses to Arcan, who's 0 for 3 on the afternoon. And he doesn't have a lot of 0 for days. So Grand Prairie trailed at 4-1, a Mason home run, a Schellenberg RBI single to score Chris Walushka. And it's 4-3. Expected a dynamite game, and these two teams have delivered in this round of 16 affair on the winners bracket. And you sense that the drama is far from over. And there is a big strikeout. Gibbons comes into the game and gets it done.
Great relief job.
AWP still in front, only now by a single run.
This business was opened in 1965 by my father, Ned Mattiosi. Could have walked in here 25, 30 years ago and seen just about the same thing. The process of making this suit takes about 6 weeks. It goes through about 12 or 13 hands as it's moved along the line. It's an old-time place. Making stuff from scratch here in the city at a reasonable cost. It's a very personal type of business.
Well, AWP has their lead closed from 4-1 to 4-3 as they bat with Tyler Booley against Liam Potts, who came on in relief of Riley Mannion going back to the third inning. Change up, misses outside. Booley has singled and scored this afternoon. He's 1 for 2 on the day. And Booley with a quality swing that time to foul it back. He's from Champlin, Minnesota. 1 for 4 so far here in Surrey, a beautiful softball city, and he scored 3 runs. There's one of the better change-ups.
Great change-up.
From the 20-year-old Liam Potts.
When you throw that change-up, you got to make sure you throw it for a strike, and he did.
That's his 4th strikeout in relief. And now he has sat down his last 5 consecutive batters, as he might be settling in at a very important time. And this will help if it stays in play, and it will. And Corey Jones circles underneath it. 2 quick outs for Grand Prairie in the bottom of the 6th, as Sachs pops out to first. And Kimlinger, the batter, he's impressed me with how he swings it. Drove in a run his last time up, has 4 hits in the tournament so far, 3 in game 1, another today. Officially 4 for 5. He walked his first time up. The number 9 hitter might not stay there for long, as he takes a peek back at the home plate umpire.
There's a few guys that had a look at that umpire. Mark Corris from Prescott, Arizona, behind the plate.
Bouncer, a diving Galenza. Won't get the speedy Kimlinger, who has another hit.
Great slap there. Good power by Kimlinger.
So Frank from St. Paul, Minnesota, clapping his hands, and for good reason. He's on a roll. And Valdi Turkelson, who drove in a run with his second hit of the afternoon, makes his way into the batter's box. A crucial half inning for Grand Prairie. They would like to keep it at a one-run difference heading to the 7th. Been exactly the type of game we were hoping for.
Yeah, back and forth all the way. You're getting into that round of 16. Very competitive games now.
Bunt attempt by Turkelson, as Kimlinger was on the run, too.
Turkelson going for the bunt single there. A little different than that sacrifice fly. Attempting to slap and run.
No balls and 2 strikes to Turkelson, who's doubled and singled and reached on a fielder's choice. Potts spins in time. Grand Prairie with an opportunity to extend it. When we return, they trail by a run.
How confident are you in your organization's security posture? If your answer isn't 100%, you're not alone. Most organizations aren't doing enough to protect their data, and they know it. With Armitage technology, you can stop worrying about IT security issues so you can focus on moving your business forward. Our experienced staff monitor and maintain your IT infrastructure to keep your business running. Visit us at armitagetech.com and make your technology work for your business.
4-3, AWP looking to advance in the winner's bracket in the round of 16. Nice crowd on this Monday as Cody Gibbons in relief for the starter, Bradley Kilpatrick, the ace, with a big strikeout, and now dealing with the number 2, 3, and 4 batters in the Grand Prairie lineup. Corey Jones fouls that off his own foot. The 35-year-old from Leduc today has walked, grounded out, and then hit into a fielder's choice. So 0 for 2 is Corey. Up the middle, a base hit. Corey's 4th of the tournament.
Good quick hands there by Corey Jones driving that ball. Nice level swing.
The Canadian national team member Corey Jones gives the Pirates the start they were looking for in the top of the 7th. And now the always dangerous Patrick Burns. And what do you do here, Joe?
No, I'm giving him a green light. Too much of a strong bat there.
Well, after that, I am now. That was not much of a bunt attempt.
No.
Patrick Burns, 3 for 3 day 1. He's 1 for 3 today. Tying run with nobody out at first. Squared again, but takes a ball from Gibbons, the young American right-hander.
Burn.
And from the United States.
Chris Waverick, the third base coach now. Still calling the bunt.
I think the great Blair Setford missed my reference when I said from the United States. Yes. Burns, another base hit. Jones on his way to third. Throw cut off, and Grand Prairie now really in business. Runners at the corners with nobody out. trailing by a run.
Good contact there by Burns, driving that ball the other way, taking that pitch. Be willing to get a base hit any way you can.
Grand Prairie trailed at 4-1 going to the 6th. Interesting, turnabout sometimes can be fair play. They led 4-1 against Georgian Bay going to the 7th in their opener, only to find Georgian Bay tying it, taking the lead in the extra inning, and then they scored 2 of their own in the bottom of the 8th to win. Now they're the team trying to come back as a pinch runner comes in at first for Corey Jones.
Mitch Stack
wearing number 34. He was in the game on Saturday as well. So Burns 2 more hits here at Softball City. And Scott Knee-High. The tying run 60 feet away. And Ryan French starts to warm for AWP.
Top part of the lineup here for Grand Prairie.
Great game. High and out of the zone. Knee-High, the 43-year-old from Maple Ridge, British Columbia, 0 for 3 on the day. He drove in the game-winning run against Georgian Bay. Does he have another key answer this afternoon?
Compressed infield by the AWP Lumberjacks. Second baseman Cody Panterbecker right on the line.
I don't think he gets the green light here. Walked him on 4 pitches. And the bases are loaded, and now the go-ahead run is at second. How this game, Joe Todd, has changed.
The tables have turned.
With Kilpatrick in the game at 4-1, he was working some of his magic, and then it all changed, really, on the Derek Mason solo home run in the 6th. That was the catalyst. Bases loaded, no one out, and a 1-run AWP lead. And are they going to bring French in?
Yes, they are.
They are. So that'll do it for the youngster Gibbons. As he walks off. And here comes the veteran French.
These base runners will be charged up to Cody Gibbons. Should they score?
Well, Joe, you're absolutely familiar with Ryan. How about a little scouting report on him?
Ryan has a great drop ball and a rise ball that really jumps. So his changeup is average, but his drop ball is his best pitch.
Well, Ryan comes in about as difficult a spot as anybody could. Bases loaded. Team up 1 single run after Gibbons gives way. Gibbons playing, as I mentioned earlier, last year with the Georgian Bay Giants, who were the first opponent of the Grand Prairie Pirates. We'll take a little break and be back with more. Ryan French, who is a member of the Niagara Stompers at last year's World Tournament, on in relief. He's a veteran of this event. Only pitched 1 1/3 innings last year.
Great drop ball there by French.
Dealing with Keegan Arcan. Bases loaded, a 1-run lead, and that is changing. Arcan has given Grand Prairie the lead with his second and third runs batted in of the afternoon. Welcome back to the ISC, Keegan Arcan.
Well, the Cardiac kids have come back to the ballpark again.
Have they ever? And there's still, Joe, nobody out. That's a quality piece of hitting. That was a pretty good pitch. An inside-out swing to send it into left.
Very important when you get a new pitcher in the game, too, to swing as early as you can. He missed that first drop ball, but got right on that second one.
And Kilpatrick, who started the game, thank you, Blair Setford, is back up throwing again. And here's the gentleman, call him the catalyst. Derek Mason, who homered a solo shot in the sixth when it was 4-1, and everything seemed to be going AWP's way. That changed the whole complexion of this game. And now Grand Prairie's in front, threatening for more. As he sends that back to the screen. Keegan Arcan having a great day. Homered and a 2-run single. He started the scoring. And has he delivered the biggest hit in this one to keep Grand Prairie in the winner's bracket? Just a reminder, the 2, 3, and 4 hitters due up for AWP in the bottom of the inning. So we're a long way from being signed, sealed, and delivered in this type of game that you look forward to when you sign up to be a part of this tournament. In the round of 16 in the winner's bracket, it has not disappointed.
Arcan has driven in 3 of the 5 runs for the Pirates.
Nice block by Sachs behind home plate. Keeps the runners right where they are. Knee high at second. He was walked, and we know why Arcan is there. The 2-run single off the most recent pitcher, Ryan French, who would like to limit the damage and keep his team trailing by a run. Mason has other ideas. Lots more games on the way for you today. From Softball City, our focus is in the winner's bracket. And it will be Bear Creek and the Ostrander Norsemen up next. We have nothing but good matchups, Joe, the rest of the day.
A great program.
Mason with another base hit. Knee high will be held. And the bases are loaded again. As the 40-year-old Derek Mason, who I thought was ready to end his career not so long ago, apparently can still get it done.
He wasn't going to walk away from this opportunity of playing in his area.
And so one BC boy followed by Walushka, who's had himself an afternoon. He's 2 for 3. And just enough from the catcher to prevent an all-important 6th run. Grand Prairie has exploded in the last couple of innings.
4 runs and 7 hits in those 2 innings.
AWP, they need an out desperately, and nice pitch from French. Base is loaded and still no one out. If you're Grand Prairie, you want more. 1 doesn't feel safe. There's the drop, Joe, that you talked about. And a good one in on the hands. As Walushka settles back in. You'd like to make contact. You wouldn't mind hitting it into the outfield. But the drop ball can make that difficult.
Well, he's in the position where he's got to continue keeping that drop too, keeping that ball in the infield. You don't want a ball up in the letters and potentially a high fly ball going out with just no one out.
A 2-2 pitch to Walushka. Strike 3. And there is a massive first out.
Great location on that inside corner.
French has his first out and first strikeout. And now Galenza. This would be a pretty good time for your first hit. Give Sachs a lot of credit. He's maybe saved a run 3 times.
Yes.
With the bases loaded.
Done a great job back there. Good bounce back there.
That one was more of a glove save and a beauty than a catcher moving over to get behind it. Change up. Grand Prairie gunning for more. 2 in the 6th. 2 more in the 7th. The lead for the second time. They did lead 1-0 before then being on the short end of a 4-1 count. And there are a lot of head shaking if you're a Lumberjack. 3 balls and no strikes to Galenza. Had to deliver one and did Ryan French. Well, you have to have nerves of steel, Joe, when you come into a game in the spot that he's entered in.
You got to pretend it's 0-0.
Somehow. Drop ball and a gem. Swung on and missed by Galenza. The red-hot Schellenberg on deck, who's 3 for 3 today, including a key RBI of his own the last time up. There's an RBI for Galenza. A bases-loaded walk to score the 6th Grand Prairie Pirate run. And that's a big ouch if you're AWP.
That hurts immensely.
Grand Prairie, talked about it. Are they becoming the comeback kids of this event? Needed 2 in the bottom of the 8th to win their opener. However, they were the team in command that whole game before they surrendered 3 in the 7th themselves to put themselves in that tricky spot. Only 1 out for Schellenberg. 3 for 3. Change up. And Ryan French
getting frustrated back there now.
Threw his hands right in the air. Federico Eder showing strike with his right hand, the shortstop. There's only one vote that matters.
Yes, the guy in the white shirt.
And now some of the frustration, and that's fortunate. That's really fortunate, because it came right back to the catcher off the screen. That could have easily made its way up the first base side to score another run.
Great bounce for AWP anyway.
Schellenberg thought it was ball 4. Three balls and a strike to Schellenberg, who's had himself a whale of an afternoon as he's returned to the ISC World Tournament today with a bang. Olizer comes home for out number 2. Very nicely done. Moving away, Joe, from the target.
Great play there by Oheiser. Go out and get that ball, get off the line, and then have the turn and spin to throw a strike to home plate.
So bases remain loaded for Arkan, who's 0 for 4. The leadoff batter from Morinville, Alberta. Off his foot. And Etter still takes the opportunity to barehand it and throw it over there. Here's the scenario. It's pretty simple. A base hit here ends the game.
Oh, yes.
For all intent and purpose. I can no longer ever say intents and purposes because my wife is very unhappy. She says that is very poor English. And it is. She's right. A lot of people say it, though, for all intents. No, it's for all intent and purpose, not intents and purposes.
They're not intense.
No. I am, however. And it's a pretty intense scenario that we're facing. As French comes inside with a strike. Braden Arkan. An opportunity to maybe seal the deal with another hit. It would be his first of the afternoon.
Ninth batter to the plate for the Grand Prairie Pirates. This inning.
French with a little extra mustard, and he needed it. 3 Grand Prairie runs in the 7th, and they lead by a pair.
Welcome to Mont Hill Golf and Country Club. With our beautiful 27-hole golf course open to the public, we work tirelessly to ensure your time with us is second to none. Well, here you'll be able to enjoy an incredible dining experience at our very own Big Pete's Steakhouse. Play some of the best courses in the world with our state-of-the-art golf simulators. Upgrade your gear with the top brands at our pro shop, or host a stunning wedding, event, or conference inside one of our beautiful ballrooms. Learn all this and more at monthill.ca. We can't wait to see you soon.
Not a stretch to suggest, as
Ginger and Dean Smith there from the Hill United team. The two workers behind that Hill United team.
They are winners today in the winners bracket. Grand Prairie looking to join them as Potts deals with the heart of the AWP order, 2, 3, and 4, beginning with Federico Etter.
Potts has done a great job coming in.
He entered the game in place of Riley Mannion. It was a little shaky, Joe, early in the appearance, but he's really settled in the last couple innings in particular. He's retired 7 batters in a row. As Grand Prairie has battled back from a 4-1 deficit in the 6th to score 5 and lead by 2. Now trying to put it away and move into the final 8 in the winners bracket. Bear Creek and the Ostrander Norsemen due up next here on Diamond 1. And that will be a beauty. And Etter, just what AWP was looking for. How about that piece of hitting?
Just got the bat. The ball was high up in that strike zone. Etter get that ball right on there and just poked it. Didn't try to do too much with it. Wanted to get over the infield.
Punched. And the tying run comes to home plate in the name of Cody Pannebecker. He has an RBI double today, 1 for 3. As Jonas Hajny continues to work, he's worked a lot down there. He's thrown a whole game down there for Grand Prairie. A terrific contest on this Monday afternoon at Softball City. Up the middle, Schellenberg did everything he could. Had he pulled that off, that might have been somewhat similar, not the same circumstance, to that great play I always talk about that he made at the Pan Am Games in the gold medal final against Venezuela, but couldn't quite complete it as Pannebecker has a base hit.
But great play by Schellenberg just to keep that ball in the infield, too. Potentially, you would have had runners on first and third. Pannebecker stroking his second hit of the game.
Jonathan Lynch, 0 for 3. And now the tying run is at first. Liam Potts. Looking to work his way out. In the air towards Patrick Burns, who will settle under it. Etter will tag. And a tying run is at second now after the long flyout off the bat of Lynch. Joe, no shortage of drama right till the end of this game.
That's what makes it interesting.
Yeah, it's been terrific. It really has.
None of the fans have left the ballpark.
Why would you? Little conference now to talk to Potts. And a very dangerous hitter. Now you have some options here, potentially, with a base open. And Olizer, the batter. I'm not sure he's getting anything to hit if it's me. I might take my chances with the next batter. And again, that's not being disrespectful. That's giving great respect to the guy at home plate in Federico Olizer. Arcan can't find it, but get some help. Good communication from both the pitcher and Corey Jones to help him find it. No time has been called. So 2 balls to Olizer, who's 0 for 1 officially. He's been on base twice. He was hit by a pitch and walked and struck out against Potts in the 5th. Went around. A ball and 2 strikes in a 6-4 Grand Prairie lead, but AWP threatening to draw even in the bottom of the 7th. At Mason, thought about coming home, double and triple clutched, and still managed to get the out.
I think he made the right play by going over to first base there.
Well, the most important run is not the run that just came home. It's the one that's still at second base.
Exactly.
And he thought about coming home for a while, but Mason, in the end, truly made the right decision. I know people will find it odd to say that run doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter. It's the one at second. That's the runner that truly matters.
And now 2 out, though, too.
And now 2 out. The out, to me, in that case, more important than anything else. As you face Cisco Sabate with 2 down. Potts wants to end it. The 20-year-old youngster from Christchurch, New Zealand.
Nobody wants to be the last out of the game.
And Sabate in search of his first hit of the day.
Great changeup. Good call by Arcan. Played a great game back there.
AWP down by a run. Grand Prairie a strike away. Did he go? No, sir. That'd be a really tough call for the umpire to make in that spot. I'd have to be 1,000% sure before I ring that one up.
Yeah.
So now the 1-2. Swing and a miss. Grand Prairie, the Pirates, rally from a 4-1 deficit to win their second consecutive game here by a score of 6-5. And again, Joe, in dramatic fashion.
Good come from behind effort there by the Grand Prairie Pirates, scoring 5 runs in the last 2 innings.
So Grand Prairie will remain in the winner's bracket. AWP will move to the other side, but don't be surprised if they hang around for a while to be back in a more prominent spot. That, my friend, was a whale of a game.
Great game.
For Joe Todd, Luciano Lafrano, Carl DeReste, the rest of our crew, I'm Peter Lubardia saying so long, and don't miss the next one. It should be a dandy too. Bear Creek and the Ostrander Norsemen. So long for now.
For the latest in softball innovation, the website where you can experience the best tournaments in the Americas. Live games, news, tournaments, and much, much more. The best quality live softball, on demand so you can watch when you want. Become a Premier member now. SoftballPremierTV.com. Live it on Softball Premier.